I actually don't know what to say at this stage, but yes, I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock and I had so many emotions going through me at that stage. I didn't know whether I was Arthur or Martha at that stage, but then I said the serenity prayer and that calmed me down a bit. And I thought to myself, I'm so grateful. That's the first word that popped into my mind, is how grateful I am for being where I am today, being who I am, and what I've become is a major thing for me in my life. If I look back a year ago, I would never have believed it. Somebody posted on my Facebook for my 1 year. It's a miracle. Yes, it is. But yeah, I'll start at the beginning. Basically, I grew up in a very loving home. My father was in and out of our lives. He was an alcoholic. My gran was an alcoholic as well. But we never wanted for anything. My mom worked very hard to support myself and my brother. And we grew up in a Christian home, which was awesome at that time because it taught me values at a very young age, which helped to a certain extent. My primary school life was I can't think of anything there that I actually can say was an issue for me. When I was 9 years old, I was involved in an accident where a motorbike hit me and I ended up in hospital for 2 to 3 months where my right knee was shattered and my arm and so on. And at that age, being the youngest of cousins and nephews, I got all the attention, which was nice. And at that young age, I started playing on that. If I wanted something, I would say, oh, but my leg is sore, and then people would run and they would do whatever I wanted them to. So at that young age of 9 years old, my manipulation started. And that's where my first thing was. Going into high school, I was, as you would say, one of the popular kids at school. We were a group of girls that everybody wanted to be in our group and so on. Alcohol never played a problem for me in school. I never used to drink. But when I moved after high school, I moved to Cape Town and I started working at a company there. And the winelands were the thing and the scene at that stage. So, on a Saturday morning, you'll have your group of friends and jump on the back of a donkey cart and go trekking through the winelands, tasting wine, and then they say, no, you've got to spit out, but not Yvonne, no, I want to taste it. So, yeah, that's how, I wouldn't say that's where it started, but that's how my progression started, I would say, is. But basically, for me, I lived on my own, and I would actually say warning bells that start there, because normal people would actually, I used to buy a 2-liter drum of wine and have that last a month. And then that was nothing. I ended up with 5-liter, and that lasted me 2 weeks. So, but being in Cape Town, that was the norm. It was the in thing to have your wine like that. Then my ex-husband, which was my high school sweetheart, I met up with him again, and I moved back to Joburg, and we got married. There, I would say, for me, it was an issue with the marriage there. We lived with my in-laws on a plot, which was nice. We were in the one house and they'd build a new house for them. And a lot of people will say you should be grateful because they helped us in a lot of sense. Yes, I was grateful to a certain extent, but I had so much resentment towards her because she was in my face 24/7. Which I couldn't handle. And I would isolate myself and I would have my wine. And if I did my ironing, I would have my wine. And she turned around to me the one day and she said, you're a married woman now. You shouldn't drink like that. And I thought, well, stuff you, and I drank more. And that was just how my thinking was at that stage. If somebody would tell me to do something that I didn't want to do, or you shouldn't do this, I would just go and do the opposite. And that's just how I was. And then the position I had at a company, it involved a lot of social work, and drinking was involved there. can't remember how many nights I got home that I wasn't sober, and my ex-husband just accepted it. I dealt him a very bad blow because he would have given me the earth if I would just have stopped my drinking. But yeah, I wasn't ready to do that. And then when it came to my kids, I had a son, Jason, or I have a son, Jason, and Nicole, and beautiful daughter, Nicole. I can't say I was a mother. I was never a mother for them. I would actually put the kids in the car. How I actually managed to buckle them up, I don't know. And I would drive around with them from bottle store to bottle store and buy my supply of wine. Then from wine, I actually moved on to gin and vodka because they said that that's something that they don't smell on your breath. And I would actually, no, I don't want to go to that one because I've been at that place this week already. I'm going to that place there. And I would leave my kids in the car and go into the bottle store. I would go shopping with them, just as a quit at that stage and not care. And then that's something that I didn't think it was wrong at that stage because the kids were fine, you know, they were fed, they were well kept. I'm not harming them, it's me, you know, I've got to look after myself now. And then it got to a stage where I lost my work at the one place, and my ex-husband said to me, you know, you really should consider going in for treatment. And I said, no, I don't need help. I said, I've got this under control. And he still said to me, you know, but you've got to think, you can't think of yourself, think about the kids, because you can't look after them in the condition that you are, you know, when you drink. And he still said to me the one day, he says, do what you want to do during the, do what you have to do, and when the kids are asleep, then have your drink if you want to have your drink. That didn't work for me either. So that's where my drinking behind closed doors started. I would buy my supply I wanted and then hide it in the cupboards. And then when he was asleep and the kids were asleep, I would go and find it and then drink myself to oblivion in the lounge. And then he would just think I fell asleep in front of the TV. And then I'll wake up the following morning thinking, shit, where did I hide all these things? Now I've got to find the empties and throw them away before the people find them. And I can't remember how many countless times my mom-in-law came and said, I found this here and I found that there. And I said, oh, but that's from so many months ago. I can't remember that, and so on. And it got to a stage where it got so bad that I was pretending to work, getting dressed in the morning, going to work, so-called work. Then I would park at the Oriental Plaza in Joburg and stay there for the whole day. And I would steal money out of my husband's wallet in the morning just so I can buy my alcohol and just get through the day, basically. And then the one day my mom-in-law phoned me on my cell phone. I was sitting in the car park there. And she said to me, I just found your work. And they said to me that you don't work there anymore. So I was half pissed in, so I didn't know what exactly I told her on the phone. But I drove home and my bags were packed. And she said, come, we're booking you into the rehab center. And they took me to a place in Kempton Park, if I'm not mistaken. And I stayed there for, I think it was about 4 weeks or 6 weeks. And I felt good when I was there. But I didn't really get to grips of the program that they had there because I didn't have a problem. I had a drinking problem, but I could manage it. That's the way that I thought it. And I think with the years, as I went on, the way that I could manipulate people, I knew exactly what people wanted to hear and when to say things and how to do things to make them leave me alone. So with the counsellors there as well, I spoke when I knew I had to speak. I said what they wanted to hear. So when I left there, she said to me, I can't remember now, but she still said to me, you're going to be one of our success stories. And then 3 months later, I wasn't. I remember I was working, and just one day I thought, no, I had enough. At that stage, my ex-husband decided he had enough as well, and we started divorce proceedings. So I moved out and I moved in with my mom, and my life just went downhill from there. I just remember I woke up one morning and I was in a hotel room in Sandton, and I didn't know how I got there, didn't know where my car keys were, didn't know what was potting or anything like that. And I stayed there for 3 days. And my mom was on her way to Durban, I think, by the train, and she was trying to get hold of me frantically. And when I switched my phone on, it was just message after message after message. And I just deleted the phone, the messages, put the phone off, and just carried on drinking. When I eventually decided, no, this is it now, I went home. How I got home, I don't know, because I was so intoxicated. All through this, everything that I've been doing and what was going on, I never had an accident. I was never caught. I always had somebody that had my back. And that carried on throughout my entire life of drinking. So once the divorce was finalized and everything, Jan and us, we spoke the one night, and he said to me, no, why don't you just pull yourself towards yourself, and then we can do this. And what he said to me, I didn't appreciate, because he said to me, don't do it for me or the kids, do it for yourself. And that didn't actually sink in at that stage. And for me it was, but why should I stop drinking? I'm not hurting anybody when I drink. It didn't make sense to me why people would say that to me. And then I lost that job that I had there as well. And when that money paid out, I decided I'm going to open a pub. Biggest mistake of my life. But yeah, but strangely enough, when I had it was a pub/club and so on, but when I had that place, I must say, some sort of, I won't say normality or sanity, whatever, came over me. And it was my partner that I had that drank business away. So I wasn't to blame for that, so I thought. But anyways, after that was done and dusted, I decided, okay, well, we'll see what's going to happen now. So Yanni just said to me the one day, I went to go and see the kids, and he said he's met someone and he's getting married. And that hurt. I thought to myself, how dare you? I'm still here. I'm enjoying my life, but you must be there for me. That's how I thought it should be. I want to carry on doing what I'm doing, but I want you to be there when I'm ready to come home, basically. And when he got married, I actually didn't know what to do with myself. So I packed up. And I thought, well, that stuff you all in Joburg, and I moved down to the coast. I thought, I'll leave everything, I'm going to make a fresh start here in Durban. And it didn't work. My problems followed me all the way here. And I just carried on. And it got, I can't believe that it actually got worse. And I've never really actually sat and thought to myself at that stage, you know, but you're running away. There's bottle stores down there. There's places you can buy alcohol as well. And I just carried on. And then I met up with a guy called Michael, which I was in a relationship with for 11 years. It started off very well. I can't say anything bad about that. But then it became very abusive. And I stayed in that relationship, which was a sick one, for the best part of 6 years, which was just drinking. And the abuse got worse, and I stayed. And I actually said to myself, because I've seen many people that's been in relationships like that, I always said I would never ever be in a relationship like that. And I stayed 6 years. And he tried to, in his own way, I must give that to him, in his own way, he did try and help me to a certain extent. But I don't know, for me it was, I just wanted to drink when I was with him after a while. And I couldn't wait for him to go to work in the morning. And I could get in my car and I could just go to the bottle store. And also then I would have certain bottle stores that I would avoid because he knew the people. Because he had the audacity to take my picture to 3 bottle stores where we stayed and say, you don't let her buy alcohol. So I went to the following town. Doesn't faze me. And he just, he would leave in the morning and I would start drinking. Literally at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, I would start drinking. Come 8 o'clock, I can't wait for the bottle stores to open. And I would drive to wherever I wanted to go and I would buy what I wanted to buy. And I don't know how I managed it, but I was, according to myself, I was sober when he got home. And he would just start drinking as well. And that carried on for many, many years. And I think for me, that was, I left him twice because of his abuse. And I don't want to dwell too much on that because it's a part of my life that's sickening actually, because of the things that was done and that was said, and a person that I think any female should allow to have to go through. But the story is, it got to a stage where he strangled me the one night and I stabbed him. And that following morning I packed my bags and I left. And then I moved in with my mother. In this whole time I still had contact with my kids. But it became less and less and less and less. And then the one day my son phoned me, and I was actually surprised because in that time my ex-husband's new wife wanted to legally adopt my 2 kids for financial issues, and I just said no. They've got enough money to pay for school fees and for varsity and so on. And the story that they gave me is that if Jason or Nicole wants to go to varsity, her company would give them full bursaries. And I just said no. And when Jason phoned me, and he said to me, Ma, won't you please sign us off? I was hurt. That really hurt me. And I tried to, and I still asked him, I said, why? So he said, no, because, for this and this and that reason. It didn't make sense to me. And I said to him, no. I said, I'm not going to sign you guys off. You're my kids. I brought you into this world. And then my ex-husband, I could hear him in the background just saying, you're only a mother on paper. You're not a mother in real life. And that hit a very sore point in my life. And I still said to Jason, I said, is that what you want? And he said, yes. He said, you'll still be my mom, but it's just for this and this reason. I said, what did Nikki say? And he said, no, Nicole doesn't know about this. So I said, well, don't you guys think, you should actually ask her about it? And he said, no, it's something that I want you to do for us. Yeah, and so I did. I went to the court and I signed the papers, and the judge still said to me when I was doing that, he said to me, are you sure this is what you want to do? I said, no. I said, but it's what my kids want. So he said, well, I can't remember his exact words, but he said to me, so you're thinking of them and not yourself. And I said, I suppose I am. But it didn't sink in to me as what I was doing. And I went home that afternoon, and I just sat there. I was like, what am I? I'm not a wife. I'm not a mother. Where am I going? What is my purpose? I couldn't grasp anything at that stage. And that total feeling of uselessness just settled on me. And I just thought to myself, what's the point? You brought 2 beautiful kids into the world that doesn't want anything to do with you at this stage. Your ex-husband despises you. You were in a shit relationship that you almost killed somebody. Where are you going from here? Bottle store. And that's the routine that I went through for so many months and weeks and days. And for me, it just became, after that, it's just a routine. Wake up, drink, maybe eat, sleep. And that was a routine. It got to a stage where I didn't care what I looked like. I didn't shower for days. I didn't do anything about my appearance. And that my mom even just sat there and said, please just do something just do something about yourself. And I would shout at my mother, and I would tell her to leave me alone, and she doesn't know what she's talking about. And I had her in tears so many days after days after days. And she would just come back, hold my hand, hug me, and just be there for me. And all I could do is just throw her love back into her face. And I think for me, what I'm doing now is payback for her, is rewarding for her. But yeah, so I ended up after that moving in with my mom. And then I met Colin. And he's been my rock for my recovery. We were together for a year, which I think if you ask him, you'd say, yes, we partied hard. And we did drink a lot together. And if he, I think if he knew the kind of what I was, that I'm an alcoholic, I don't know if we would be together now, but he tends to think that we would. But anyways, with him it was a different story. We were together for about a year. When I think the shit hit the fan, basically. And I just up there one day and left, partying with friends, and then he kicked me out the following day. I can't remember, basically. I won't say I can't remember. It's hard to put into words what was going through my mind at that stage, because I wasn't thinking. On the one hand, I had this awesome person that cares so much for me, but on the other side, I thought, okay, fine, well, he's not going to mind, because, you know, it's just one night, I'll come back the following. I didn't know it was going to be one night. I just thought I'll go out and come back. And then I just got so out of it that I couldn't go home. And when I eventually got home, he just told me, I think I was in the shower, and he said to me, pack your things and leave. I didn't want to. And he literally packed my bags for me, and he kicked me out. And then I ended up sitting on the beach that night. And I didn't care at that stage. I was drinking. As long as I had my alcohol, I was fine. And that Sunday, I sent him a message because something happened to my car. And the Monday, we spoke. And then I think he basically gave me an ultimatum. And he said, well, I think you should go for help. And he said, I'll support you in this. And then that Wednesday night, I went to my first AA meeting. And strangely enough, the way we're sitting here is the way we sat that night. Kate was on my side and Wendy on my other side. And that's the night I felt this small. And I'm not a small person. I felt this small when I walked into those rooms. And I can't remember much of my first meeting. I really can't. I was scared. I was nervous. I was all the alls, all the isses, everything that you could think of, I was that night. And but what I can remember from that meeting was the love that I felt after I left there. And Kate saying to me when I walked out in the parking lot, I'll see you Friday. And I thought, okay, fine. I'll see you Friday. And that's when I started my AA meetings. It wasn't easy in the beginning. And I think that's why I must be honest in that sense when I say this. I went to the meetings in the beginning because of Colin. Because he said, and I didn't want to lose him. And I thought, okay, fine, I'll do this for him, and I'll go to a couple of meetings, and then everything will be fine. And I think because of that attitude that I had, and that my mind setting at that stage, was because I was doing it for him, and just he'll be happy, and that's why I lapsed. I think I was 2 days short of my 2 months, and it's strange how things just worked out, because Colin went to Malawi, and he was gone for quite a while, and I was on my own, and I attended my meetings, but I wasn't into it. You show face, and that's it. Rob says that, he sat there counting the beams at the church. I sat counting people, how many people were at the meeting, and who's the newcomers, and that was me. It was just to please other people, basically. And then when Colin went to Malawi, for me it was, oh shit, what am I going to do now, basically? So I isolated myself. I would sit in the room the whole day and just go out maybe to see my mom and then go back to the room. And then I was bored and I started drinking again. And I was so committed to my meetings that I went to my meeting drunk. My sponsor picked me up that night, and I don't remember much of that evening, but yeah, I think she was just glad to drop me off that night after the meeting. And that was a wake-up call, because I think I got my true things told to me the following day by Wendy. And I think that's when it started dawning on me. And when that Friday came, I went to the Friday meeting. And when I saw everybody there, I thought they all know. Yes, they all know. And I sat there looking at the people, and I just owned up. And I said, I'm sorry. And that's when I started getting serious about my program. It was day one for me again, and I started. Needless to say, I had to redo my step one, which took me longer than I ever thought it would. And from there, it's just grown, I would say. I didn't... my first year wasn't something I would want over. I had my good moments, but I had a lot of bad things. Not bad things happening, but bad emotional ones. I've grown a lot in that sense, I would say. I've become to know myself better. I've become a lot, it sounds wrong to say, but I've become a lot more selfish when it comes to my recovery. I put that first. People don't understand that, but us alcoholics sitting here, we know what it's all about. For the people outside, they don't tend to understand why. But that's the one thing that I'm grateful for. That's why I say the first thing that I thought of this morning is gratitude. You can't put a price tag on gratitude. You can't explain to somebody else what you're feeling, what you've gone through to become here. And when people say to you, oh, but surely you can have a social drink now and again. No, it doesn't work like that. For me, in the beginning, because where we stayed, it was a bit hard because we stayed on top of a pub. So just downstairs was the alcohol free, not freely available, but I could if I wanted to. But in a sense, I think that made me strong also, because I had a very strong support system where we stayed. The owners of the place were there 24/7 for me. And that I will be grateful for towards them. In the beginning, if I wanted to talk to somebody, Nikki and Graham was there. My big brother and sister, basically. And if anything, I can't say I wanted for anything. For me, I've got this fellowship, which I think we've got the most awesome fellowship that person can have. I just think the love and support from all the people outside and inside. I'm fortunate in that sense. Yes, I must say it's a bit difficult for a person doing this program when you're not in the rehab center, but you tend to get to on with your life, and you get to grips with it a lot quicker than it is for the other people, I think. But I don't think it's an issue, or it was an issue. A lot of people, frown at me when I say, in the beginning, when I said to Wendy, oh, I'm going to the pub now, and then, people that's around us would say, but she's in treatment, how can she go? And then it's like a private joke between Wendy and myself at that stage, because we stayed on top of the pub. And that, I think, built a lot of, I will do this attitude in me. And that turned into, I am doing this, which changed a lot in the latter part of my year. That fear of relapsing again started to go away slowly but slowly, and as I grew stronger in my recovery. But the one thing that I must say that I'm very wary of is becoming too comfortable with my recovery. It's something that I work on a daily basis. I do my prayers in the morning and at night time, which I feel is so important. For me, that connection with my higher power has grown immensely. In the beginning, it was God that protected me all the time in everything that I did. It was Him that said, okay, fine, you've had enough now. You are now going to do what I tell you to do. And yes, there are days when I try to take my own will back, and then it turns belly up, as it always does. But then I deal with it. I don't have that thing of that wanting anymore to turn my problems over and just drink it away. I now have the courage to actually face things head on. I've got the program that helps me with that. I can't think of any issues where I was. Oh, yes, I can. That one day when I still drove past a place, because I try to avoid routes that I take that takes me past places where I used to buy. And it's stress nuts, I drove past this one place that day. And just for that fleeting moment, I thought, what if I'll go in there now? And then that moment was gone, and all of that, what I would lose, came down on me, and what I've accomplished, and where I want to go, basically. And that was it. In the beginning, the smell of black sambuca, because I loved that, would want me to drink. And that, I can say honestly, is something that doesn't faze me. People drink around me, it doesn't faze me at all. I don't judge. It's their issue that they have. I have my cope that I have, and I carry on with my life. And a lot of people say, but doesn't it bug you? No, it doesn't. It's part of life. I'm the person that's with the issue. They don't have it. I've set my mind like in such a way that I deal with it on a daily basis. I get a lot of people nowadays that are actually, that says to me, but why don't you want to drink? And in the beginning it was oh shit, I'm an alcoholic. Now I don't think about it twice. I own up to it. And it wasn't me in the beginning, it was Colin. It started off. He was so proud to say that my wife's an alcoholic. She goes to AA meetings. Even at work, we used to take my tags and go and show it to the people there. But he's doing the program. And so that in its sense that's the support that I have, and I can't wish for anything else. I can't wait for my meetings to go to on a Wednesday and a Friday and a Saturday. It was an immense honor for me to start doing service, starting off the tea and coffee. And then when Wendy said to me, I think you should do something else, and now doing the literature on a Friday. And I enjoy it. I really, honestly, I do enjoy it. And I love seeing the people when I go there again every day. And, the milestones, when you reach the milestones, that family bonding kind of thing. Hey, you've made it. You've made another month. You made another week. that kind of thing. That keeps you want to come back to see, to see the success that people make, to see how they're going on. Yes, we all fall. We all make mistakes. But, we pick ourselves up, we carry on. And we're there for each other when we do make mistakes. We don't judge. We don't say, look down on a person. We pick each other up when we carry on. And that's the kind of thing that's helped me, is no matter what I do, no matter what mistakes I make, I won't be judged here. Outside, yes, but never ever here. I'll get good constructive criticism, which I might not like at times. But I take it with a smile, and then I just look forward. And I think that's me. I don't think I have much to say. I said enough. And all I can say is, guys, thanks. It's been a very good year. Had my ups and downs. I've made it. But I think thanks to all this awesome fellowship and everybody's love and support. Colin, my awesome sponsor, and my other friend leads. And thank you.